All right, let's get started. We want to welcome everybody to today's webinar on building trust and loyalty with your center and schools with Procare. Can we flip to the next screen, please? Get a start. Yep, that's where we are today. So start thinking about any questions you have around this topic as we go on. A couple housekeeping items. There we go. We can't see or hear you as video and sound are turned off during the presentation. We will have time at the end for questions, so enter them in the question tab during the webinar. And remember that you are going to get a recording of the entire webinar, usually a couple days at the most after it ends. So if there's anything you didn't catch, there's going to be a chance to go back. And if you're having technical difficulties, just exit out of all the software on your device. A lot of times that's gonna solve the problem. And let's go on to our next slide. And I'll introduce the guy who's going to explain everything to you today. Elliott Tarrant is our Enterprise Technical Account Manager at Procare. And he can tell you more what exactly that means. He'll walk you through the platform a little bit, and he's going to go into specifics on the 6 C's of connection and how that's going to help you build that trust and loyalty at your center. So without further ado, welcome Elliott, who has a fuller beard now than he did in this picture. I'll let him take it away.
Thank you, Leah. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. My name is Elliott Tarrant. I'm an Enterprise Technical Account Manager. I've been with Procare for a little over 5 years now, and I've worn many hats here, working in various departments such as technical support, tuition express, implementations, which has all kind of given me a well-rounded view of our product and really created that passion for really getting to know our customers and making sure we offer the best solution for our customers. So with that being said, Procare has been the leading expert for over 30 years in the child care business. We've offered multiple platforms, and we are constantly striving to be the most proficient, efficient, and beneficial software for our customers. Constantly trying to look to improve our features and functionality, just making your life easier as the end user, and building that strong foundation and connection with the families. Once again, we want to streamline that center-based management in the all-in-one cloud-based integrated platform that gives you some of these wonderful features that are, leading the market in today's environment, such as registration, enrollment management, e-documents, a mobile application, a web-based platform that you can access on with any browser. These are things that we're looking to continue to improve on, but also continue the success we've already built on so far. So as Leah mentioned, we have the 6 C's to build these connections and build this trust and partnership with our families. Because that's the end goal for you, is to make sure that you have the ability to communicate with your staff and parents and build that trust and loyalty. So there's that transparency of what's going on in the center, but also really getting to know that family and nurture those relationships. Involving parents in their child's education, being able to track their learning progress and being able to see some of the activities they're doing throughout the day and really track their development to make sure that they're hitting the goals they need. And then also partnering with staff and parents to support learning and development outcomes for the children. And that ties on, making sure they're really advancing and developing, strongly. And that way you guys have that constant communication of where your child is at all times, regards to their education. The strong focus on family engagement helps build meaningful connections. And that's going to be a common theme throughout this webinar, is we really want to focus on nurturing those relationships with our families, our staff, and our students. For the center side, being able to manage your classroom effectively, being able to track ratios, and being able to look for enrollment opportunities, being able to make sure that your children's needs are being met within the classroom. Track in-class activities and development milestones. So once again, this touches on the progress a child is making in their learning activities. Being able to track diaper changes, naps, bottles, do name to face checks. All of these things are great to run your business and also communicate that information with the parent. Provide reassurance on safety and security. So, notifications and real-time activity feeds, real-time sign in and sign out notifications. So you can know at all times where your child is located in the building, know at all times that your child is safe, and also at the palm of your hands be able to communicate with the center and the parents to make sure that that child's needs are being met. And now on the parent side, once again, communicating in real time. If there's an emergency or you have a question, you can communicate via the mobile application, and that goes straight to the administration team and the teacher themselves. Stay in the loop on upcoming activities, track attendance. There is a calendar icon where you can always know what upcoming activities are coming. So you can mark those on your calendar and know how to plan accordingly. Immerse in your child's day. This opens up that transparency that we were referring to. Being able to know exactly what your child is doing throughout the day, what activities they're doing, being able to see photos of activities or the smile on their face when they're on the playground. Things like that will make your day better, but also just put you at ease knowing your child is getting the attention that they deserve. And then once again, feel confident about the safety and security, knowing that your child is where they're supposed to be, they're getting the attention they need to be getting, and just once again, nurturing that relationship between the center and the parents and the children. So once again, that common theme is building that connection. It's critical to establishing that trust and that loyalty. Once you lose those, you're never going to get those families back, right? That's one of the hardest things to regain. So with our platform, it enables you to ensure that those relationships and all the needs are being met, and you can really keep those families engaged and keep that trust and that loyalty. And how do we build that trust and loyalty with the families? We do that through the 6 C's of connection. So that's consolidate, control, connect, communicate, confidence, and complete. So I'm going to touch on each one of these items and show you examples of how our platform leads the way in the market today on touching on all these 6 C's of connection. Control and manage control. So this is how you can manage your classrooms more effectively. Better manage classrooms, track attendance and room movement, being able to know exactly who is signed into what room at any given time, as well as staff to make sure that you are within ratio at all times. The system will alert you if you're ever out of ratio, and you can really monitor trends as well to know at what points are you hitting that point where you're out of ratio, at what points do you need more staffing, at what points do children need to move to different rooms. It gives you kind of that full overview of where you are to manage those classrooms. Ensure adherence to teacher-child ratios, I just touched on that. And then make it easy for teachers to track child activity with name-to-face reporting. So we do have name-to-face for spot checks, diaper checks, health checks, playground checks. These are critical to run your business to make sure that the child is where they need to be, their safety needs are being met, as well as they're getting the attention they deserve. We also have custom programs and enrollment opportunities. So with this platform, we just rolled out a feature called Programs and Insights. Now, the way we look at programs is it's more of the logical entity, right? Classrooms are the physical entity, their physical location. But programs are actually what the child is enrolled in. They might be infant Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or toddler Tuesday, Thursday, right? That's the program, but they might be in room 101. So the ability to create custom programs and track enrollment opportunities within each program. I'm going to share my screen here and show you a couple of those opportunities. So on our platform here, this is where you as the admin and your staff will be spending a lot of your time in tracking these ratios, tracking these enrollment opportunities, being able to see the room capacity and how many students you have signed in and the staff, and then what ratio you are and if you're out of ratio, being able to set those different ratios, being able to see live analytics about who's signed in the past on a past date, so you can track trends and enrollment opportunities. And as I mentioned before, we do have our programs where you can set different logical entities, right? As I said, we have our main rooms where they will be physically located, but being able to set the program and the capacity you have for enrollment in the program, and then going to insights and seeing how many openings you may have for each program, right? Being able to see how many teacher openings you have based on your ratio, how many openings you have based on the capacity of that program. Being able to really kind of track and predict where you're going in the future for these opportunities. Being able to create multiple different rooms, being able to track max capacity and build your ratios upon these rooms. And then once again, being able to track attendance, sign your students in, make sure that they're in the correct room they're supposed to be in at all times. And the beauty with this program is it does give you the ability to sign in a student, specify who signed them in at any given time. And when we go back to that dashboard, you'll now see that student is signed in. You can see that if we go to infant room, you know, the silhouette is not grayed out anymore. It has a green dot. So you can really know exactly who is in what room and what location they're supposed to be in. We also offer 2 other ways to sign in and sign out. And this is where that connection comes in and being able to know exactly where they are by offering the contactless QR scan and a curbside geofence. This gives you the ability for the parents to physically have to be on campus to sign in, whether that's scanning a QR code that's at the drop-off area or being within a certain radius that you can preset that ensures that they are physically on campus to sign in and sign out that child, and being able to monitor who is signing in and signing out that child. Another part of control is we have state-of-the-art curriculum at our fingertips. So we have recently teamed up with Learning Beyond Paper that has have preset curriculum for you with all the material list and you know, the weekly lesson plans that you guys will need. And you guys can manage those, or you can create your own custom lesson plans as well, and I will touch on that shortly. Dramatically reduce the amount of time on lesson planning each week by being able to, as I said, integrate with that Learning Beyond Paper that we offer, but also importing your own state-of-the-art lesson plans. Offer high quality curriculum and save your center money with a cost-efficient solution that's integrated with Procare. So once again, that's our Learning Beyond Paper that we have fully integrated, which will save you time having to create the curriculum, save you time having to create the material list. And once again, this is all at the palm of your teacher's hands, so they have all this information at right there. And what that looks like is we have these preset lesson plans based on the week that you're currently in. If we click on one of these lesson plan, it will have all of the description and the desired outcome filled out, the labels of, you know, what age group they're in. You can add any milestones that are hitting based on your state standards or based on any learning that you want to add to this. You can assign it to a certain room, and then it also has attachments here where you can have your material list as well as the summary of the lesson that will go out to the parents at the end of the day when your child is signed out. If we go to our all lessons, there are over 4,000 lessons in here with this Learning Beyond Paper, and it's dictated by the week and the day. So you can go and assign all of these lesson plans throughout the year so your teachers have that already up front, and it just saves you a lot of time in having to go and create those manually. And when we go to the lesson plans, we can also click on the little ellipsis up here, and we have our resources and our material list. So the resources for any reading materials that you may need, any help articles on Learning Beyond Paper and the curriculum, but also materials list so you can know, you know, if you need some pencils or you need glue sticks or anything for any of these activities. And these lesson plans are preset from infant to pre-K. Okay, so the next C is connect. And this is how we engage with our staff and families. This is probably one of the most important benefits of using our platform in the mobile application. Once again, the beauty with this platform is it is all web-based and mobile app-based. So as long as you have a web browser, you can access the online portal for parents and staff alike, as well as it will work on most Android and iOS devices. So pretty much any smartphone. And in today's day and age, families are so used to having an app for pretty much everything that having an app for your childcare is a super beneficial platform to have. Easily message staff and families using the Procare mobile app. I'll touch on this shortly, but it's a new and improved updated messaging system where you can instant message the family real time and they get that notification right away. It will be done through the Procare app, but also as well as mobile texting. The good news with this is you have that historical reference. So you can always go back to a conversation and see any past conversations you've had as well. You don't lose that historical reference. And when messaging the parents, it has the parents' info at right on the left-hand side. So that way you can always get their phone number if it's an emergency situation or any additional info you might need on that family. Check in and out via the app, and we kind of touched on that on the last C, but being able to use your mobile application to scan a QR code or use a geofence location to for the system to track that you are physically at that school and you can sign out that student. Staff and families can view upcoming schedules and calendars. So they can go to the calendar icon in their mobile application, view any upcoming events, and they can actually link that to their personal calendar, whether that be Outlook or Gmail. And then create daily activities that can be shared with parents and connect those activities to state standards, attendance, naps, meals, playtime, photos, videos, and learning. All of these activities are wonderful things, and the parents really are thrilled to see these throughout the day. They really want to know what their child is doing, the progress they're making, and being able to get sent a photo or a learning activity or even a message from your teacher for an update on how they're doing just puts the parent's mind at ease, and it's a really beneficial tool. So I will touch on some of these right now. So if we go into this parent connection tab, this is where you and your staff will spend a lot of your time, a good portion of your day. Being able to create custom newsletters and send those out, just another layer of communication to the parents, right? Being able to create a custom template, being able to add photos, videos, and text, give it a background, add an attachment PDF file. So if you already had preset newsletters that you already had for the year, or even a field trip waiver or terms and conditions, something like that, that you wanted to get to the parents, you can attach that file and create these custom newsletters and save them as templates so you can use them for a future date. But once again, just gives that extra layer of communication. Parents love getting these emails and being able to see, kind of upcoming events or just information for your school. The messaging feature, being able to go and click on a message thread and view any past historical reference about any conversations that may have been had, or being able to communicate with the family real time, such as please bring more diapers when you pick your child up. Your child fell off the swing and we put an ice pack on. It could be a multitude of things, any communication you have throughout the day-to-day, but this is a real-time message that will be sent to the parents, and they get a real-time notification on their mobile application. So the parents would open up their Procare app, they would go to their messages, see they have an unread message, and being able to respond right away. And another cool feature of this is you have the student details right on here on the right-hand side. So you can see the phone number and the email. So if it's something that needs to be confidential or something that you need to address right away and give them a phone call, you have that information right here at the tips of your fingers, so you can access that much quicker. Now, being able to send messages in bulk as well, field trip reminders, something like a severe weather, a power outage, right? You can send these messages in bulk via the app, or you can actually check this box here and send it via text, so they get that text message alert as well. If we continue here, we can filter by room or by tags. Tags are a good way to filter out within the app. So you can do bus runs, allergy lists, full-time, part-time. Really, the possibilities are endless with the tags, but everything you do in Procare, you can filter by room or tag. So we can send this in bulk to our school, let them know there may be severe weather, power outage, and it will send those individual messages to each of the family at one time, and they get those notifications real time. Daily activities, being able to send photos, videos, naps, incident reports, medications, name to face reports, learning activities. All of these are critical in your day-to-day and how you run your business. But these are critical to the parents as well, because they want to know what their child is doing, how they're feeling, what their learning progress is. When you can create observations and attach those to your milestones and your learning initiatives. Being able to create an incident report and actually print off an incident that the parents can sign off on. So there's a multitude of good benefits for the parent connection side. Once again, communicate and track schedules, calendars, check-ins and outs, classroom activities, and development milestones. So the real-time staff to family communication and announcements in the app. So we kind of touched on those with the newsletters and messaging. Focus on building childcare community, instilling trust in your parents by involving them in the day-to-day activities. Once again, that is the sending the photos, sending the learning activities, sending diaper changes, naps, bottles, how their meal, how much they ate. All of those are great for the parents to know. So when they get home at the end of the day, they can see how their child was doing that day, how much they ate, how much they slept. All of these things are really beneficial as a parent to know. And I have a toddler myself, and I love that my daughter's school uses this app, because I get these notifications and I know exactly how she was during the day. So it helps me at home. Share milestones in real time to engage parents in their ongoing development. This is a hugely beneficial tool as well. So we with that curriculum that we touched on, we also do have milestones, and these can be brought in based on your state standards for your whatever state your center is in. But you can also customize these by adding new domains, new subdomains, adding different milestones. You can rearrange these, title these how you want. You can really customize it based on your learning initiatives that you need to follow. But as you see here, you can really track each and every detail of your child's progress. By going to the assessments tab, we can actually mark proficiency levels. So we can, go in here, and if they're limited, proficient, advanced, developing, and these are default terms, but you can manage the different proficiency types as well. But we can come here and give them a proficiency level. Any observations you made within the app would show up here as well. So you would be able to see some of the observations, add photos to those observations, and once again, add your proficiency levels. And all of these observations and proficiency levels will go to the portfolio. So we do have a portfolio that you can view and print out for the parents, or you can actually email the portfolio out to all your parents, and they can actually see the proficiency level and monitor the progress for that child based on your milestones and state standards. So just an added benefit of really communicating with parents, their emotional and day-to-day development, but also their cognitive and learning development as well. So help parents reinforce what is taught in the classroom by providing insight to their children's activities, curriculum, and learning objectives. Once again, we just touched on that by sharing the observations and learning activities, sharing photos of playtime or arts and crafts or anything that you may be doing throughout the day. Once again, just builds that transparency for the parent and just really kind of nurtures that relationship and that communication factor. And assess and report on developmental milestones. So we just touched on that with the portfolio that you can actually send to parents or print out for a parent-teacher conference and bring those topics up. Confidence. So confidence in knowing your staff, children, families are safe and secure. And we did touch on this kind of in the intro, but being able to view and easily update family contact information. So you can give the parents the ability to do it on a mobile app, being able to update their address, their phone number, authorized pickups. You have the ability to view authorized pickups and also childcare provider, or not childcare, sorry, healthcare providers. So you can have their doctor information or primary care information if you need to reach out for any sort of injury or illness. Enable contactless check-in with the QR code or the geofence. Once again, this app just ensures that in order to sign in, sign out, they have to physically be on location, and only the people who are authorized to pick up that child will be able to do that. And they would have to have the mobile application. You have to invite them. So it just ensures that your staff is safe, your children are safe, and everyone is where they're supposed to be at all times. And we can track that based on attendance, signing in, signing out, and viewing all the information that is there readily available. Complete. So complete documents online to ensure family and staff data are in sync and quickly available. So one of the wonderful features about this is we do have e-documents. So you can upload a PDF file of a document you may need to send. You can annotate that as needed with text fields, signature fields, initial fields, and you can actually send those to the parents for them to sign electronically. So that could be terms and conditions, a field trip waiver, sign off on a registration packet. It could be multiple different things, enrollment contracts, incident reports. The possibilities are endless of what you can send them, but anything that you need a signature, you can actually have them sign electronically and it will store on their record in the system. And you can always access those documents at any time and go review those later. The parents also have the ability within a mobile application or the web browser to go on and upload any documents themselves. So if they need to go and upload a immunization record, a vaccine record, they want to upload, some other important information, right? Some things from the state maybe for licensing or anything like that. They have the ability to do that via the mobile app and upload a PDF, or as I said, on the web browser. And your staff has the ability to upload those documents as well. So if they're giving them physically, they can scan them in as a PDF and upload those. But I will say the by far the best feature is being able to send these electronically and have the family sign off electronically. Consolidate. So consolidate statements, tuition, billing and payments, and easily process tuition payments. So ensure timely payments of your centers. Added convenience for parents by initiating payments via the Procare app. No more handwritten checks or delays at drop off. So all of these things are built into here. You can set up reoccurring plans where it's going to automatically invoice on the set day of the month or the week that you guys preset for that reoccurring plan, meaning that you don't have to physically push the button anymore to bill your parents. The system will do that automatically, and those invoices will go out on the first of every month or the first Monday of every week, whatever the case may be. However you bill, you have that ability for the system to do that automatically. The parents also have the ability to add their own banking information, whether that's ACH, credit card, or debit card, via the mobile app. So no more of you having to go and track that information down or request that information, because one, you're liable for it, you have to hold it somewhere, or you have to destroy it after. There's just a lot of liabilities and things that can go wrong with that. So giving the centers the ability to be able to put the onus on the parents, and the parents can go on the app, and the parents like it too because it's that extra layer of security. They don't have to give their information out to anyone. They can fill that out themselves. They can set up auto pay, so that way when the invoice is due on the 1st of each month or the 5th of each month or whenever that date is, the parents can set up auto pay, so that money is automatically withdrawn. And I'll go ahead and show you an example of how easy it is to set up a reoccurring billing plan. So we can create a plan here, and we do have tuition-based or attendance-based. So attendance-based meaning, you can charge a daily rate or an hourly rate. You can also add late pickup fees, or we can do a tuition plan where you can choose from a template, or you can create your own new plan and enter a plan name, call it tuition full-time. You can choose your plan cycle, whether that's monthly, weekly, or bi-weekly, your plan start date, and you can put an optional end date as well. If that's, for example, if this is just a summertime reoccurring plan for a few months of the summer, or if this is just for school year of 22, and then in 23, it's going to be a different plan. You can put a end date on there, but you can leave that blank as well. It's just going to be the same until they, age out or graduate. You can choose your invoice day, whether that's the first day of the month, third day, whatever the case. And then you can choose your due date on. So if they have that auto pay set up, the money will withdraw on whatever day that money is due on. So once again, this just ensures that you don't have to go and chase people for their money, which is always a valuable asset for sure. But also you don't have to push the button to bill or even withdraw that money. The system will do that automatically. So you can focus on your primary objective, which is the children, and making sure that all of their needs are met. So once again, Procare empowers student-parent-teacher engagement with the 6 C's: control, connect, communicate, confidence, complete, and consolidate. Those 6 C's are critical for any successful childcare center to run and build that trust, and really nurture those relationships with the end users. Manage your center. So integrated center care management is a smart and better way to manage your center. Once again, some of the main points that we touch on is lesson planning. Create lesson plans and assessments so that way you can track learning progress and your staff can be up to date and your parents can be up to date on where their child is currently in regards to their learning, and really monitor and make sure that that child's needs are being met. Communication. Keep your staff and parents connected on all milestones, activities, whether that be by phone, email, text, instant messaging on the app, sending out newsletters, daily activities. All of these things are critical in communicating with the parents to make sure that that open dialogue is constantly being met. Administration. Manage every aspect of your center or your multi-centers in an all-in-one cloud-based integrated platform. So once again, being able to access this platform and run your business through any web browser, whether you're on a Windows machine or a Mac, whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, it doesn't matter. You can use this platform and really monitor your business, monitor ratios, check-in, check-outs, being able to ensure your business is being run, all the reporting that you need, whether that be financial reporting, past attendance records, which is a really great tool. Billing and payments, automated billing and payment collection, like we just touched on. Once again, that saves you guys time from having to go and physically run those each month. It's automated. So you can focus on where your main priority should be, and that's the children, and making sure all the needs are being met for your children and staff. Financial management, real-time view of all your financials, all the ledgers, your AR balance, being able to report on all of those detailed transactions, being able to report on any balances that you still may have. Really, you can run your business and operate and keep track of your financial obligations. And then once again, the mobile app. It's a fully integrated app that your staff would have in the classroom on the day-to-day. So, while they're in the middle of a lesson or a learning activity or an arts and crafts session, they can take a photo of the activity, send that to the parents. They can monitor real time when a student transfers room based on right at the tip of their fingers. They can add that quick diaper or quick bottle or nap or all of this information, the stuff that the families really want to know and need to know, and just to ensure that their child is getting all their needs are being met. So with that being said, please scan the QR code at the end of this to fill out a short survey, and if you have any questions or any feedback for us that's super critical and beneficial for us to make improvements on these and really touch on the topics that you want to know about as well. And with that being said, I'll let Leah jump back on, and she might have a few questions that were in the chat for me.
We do have some good questions. So let's start with the first one. So when you were talking about the app, how would a center who's new to this invite families to download the app and use the app?
Yeah, so the good news about this is on that initial setup, and when you're inviting parents, they need that invitation to get started. So for any new centers, whenever we start you and you add the families and you really want to learn that center, you don't have to worry about information going to a family before you're ready to roll it out. But to actually invite the students, it's a pretty simple process. So you'll know based on when you hover over the parent's name if they're signed up or not, based on that little green check mark. If they're not signed up, you'll notice it will be a little hourglass. Now to send that invite, you're going to click on this. You can individually click on the child here, and then you can invite them, or you can click on the little number up here. Now this number is always going to change, where that number 3 is, based on how many parents you have available to sign up. So you can click on that and select all and send those emails and invites out in bulk. Once a family is signed up, they're never going to get another invite. So you don't have to worry about resending that invite to someone who's already signed up. And you can do this as many times as you want until you get all your family signed up. Now, what comes in that invite is a link to the App Store, so they can download the app right from that link. First-time login instructions, as well as some links to help articles for the parents to get started. So really simple process. And if a parent has any other app on their smartphone, they'll know exactly what to do with this as well, because that's the times we live in today.
And I just wanted to throw this random fact out. In just the last 2 years, we've shared 500 million activities through the app, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's just 500 million. That's almost unfathomable. That's crazy.
And as we were doing this webinar, I got an alert on my phone. My 3-year-old also uses it, and he ate all the goldfish for his morning snack. So it is really fun as a parent to get. One other question is, when you were talking about attendance-based plan versus a tuition-based plan, could you walk through that a little bit more about the differences and why a center might choose one or the other?
Absolutely. Yeah. So when we're setting up those different plans, to preface that too, a child might be able to have multiple different plans as well. So they might be on their attendance-based or tuition plan, which basically the tuition plan means it's going to be the same reoccurring fee no matter what. And the tuition or the attendance-based plans are things that may vary based on their attendance, based on the days they showed up, but or late fees. So the tuition plan is always going to be that same amount. So if it's $500 a month and they're going to get charged on the first of every month, they're always going to get charged that. But we all do offer the attendance-based plan, and this is perfect for potentially drop-in children who may only come every now and then and be charged hourly. So you want this in place for them. So you can actually set up the days of the week they're supposed to be there, and then you can choose that hour by hour rate or daily rate. So if they are a drop-in child, you can give them a daily rate, or once again, that hourly. You can also do a late fee charge as well and set that time. So they may have a tuition plan and an attendance-based plan for each child. That is 100% possible. Once again, you can set that late fee up. So you can set this for maybe 6 p.m., right? And at 6:05, they're going to get charged $1 a minute or $5 a minute. Being able to select that hourly rate, whether it's $5 an hour or $10 an hour for those drop-in students. But what this is going to do is it's always going to look at their attendance, and it's automatically going to calculate what they should be charged based on the setup that you put in here. And you can save these as templates, so you can create a drop-in infant template, a drop-in toddler template, or a late fee template. It really gives you that customization for the system to calculate all those fees for you, so you don't have to do it manually.
Okay. And then we are wanting to see some cool newsletter features. Any way you can go back and you walk through some of it, but kind of highlight a little bit more of what center directors or teachers or who's ever in charge of the newsletters can do to make those cool for parents?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can customize this template, and you can add as many of these different layouts as you see fit as well. So not only one at a time, but you can really make this a pretty long, a long newsletter. You can add sample photos. You can upload a photo, or you can select a photo from the library of photos you've taken within the app. So I have my toddler here that was in the swimming pool. She's living her best life.
I'm jealous of her right now.
Yeah, I know, right? But we can add that in the newsletter. We can add some sample text in here. Right, we can add some sample text, pool day, give it a fun little title, and you can always change these backgrounds too. So we have some wintertime backgrounds, some darker backgrounds, but you can really customize those backgrounds, adjust the text and the color, and add the different titles. And then once again, you always have that ability to attach a PDF file. So if you had these preset, or you already had a waiver that you wanted to send, you can add those as well.
Well, anything else that you want to touch on, Elliott, that you think people might find interesting, or you wanted to talk more about, or popped into your head, which always happens to me after I start talking about something?
Yeah, so there are quite a few things actually. So let me So a couple of things as well. Staff management is a new topic that we have. So we do have the ability to for you to operate your business by being able to schedule your staff and add shifts here and see who's going to be available for what room. And based on your ratios you have set up, it will let you know where you're lacking, where you might need a shift here or there. So we can come in and add a shift for tomorrow. Call it toddler room. Oops, can't type today. I apologize. We can add that shift there, and now you can kind of see that schedule. Then you can add this for all of your staff. You can print the schedule. You can copy the schedule. So if it's going to be the same schedule for another week, you can do that as well. You can filter by room type or by program type as well. So if this is a program specific schedule, you can set that up as well.
Okay. And Elliott, can I jump in really quick? I want to make sure we get to this question about curriculum. We have someone who wants to know if the curriculum is preset.
So the curriculum is not preset. You do have all your lesson templates in here. So, and so with this curriculum here, we do have, if we go to our Learning Beyond Paper resources, we actually have a document that will show you what week you're supposed to be in, right? So we have monthly theme documents, so you know exactly what the theme's going to be. Materials list for all of your different programs for the year, but also the ability to know exactly what week you're in. So that way, if you begin this in, let's say, May, you know that you may be in week 20 or week 30 of the year, right? So you can start inputting those lesson plans. But these are not preset, but you do have your full list of lessons here, and you can search by week. So we can say week 10, and it will filter out and find all of our week 10s, or week 10 day 1, or so you can search for a specific week and then add those lesson plans in for each room.
Very cool. All right, I'll let you get back to what you were talking about. I just wanted to make sure we got that answered before
Yeah, no problem. No, that's what we're here for. We want to get the questions that are being asked live. So no problem.
Absolutely.
So staff scheduling, staff messaging, and staff time cards. So just giving you the ability to really manage your staff and being able to schedule accordingly to know how many spots you have available for each room. Another really good feature as well is our registration form. So you can actually set up a registration form that will enable parents to sign up electronically online. And you can come in here and actually add different fields that you want to track, whether that's allergies, medications, t-shirt sizes. It could be a multitude of different fields that you want to add. Same with the parent information. And then you can actually add policy and waivers as well and edit these. So, parents can sign off on photo release or cancellation policies or refunds. But you can create this registration form, and then you can actually collect registration fees upon collection or upon completion. And then you can actually preview that form, this is how it will look online. And once the parents fill it out, they're going to go in this lead section. So then you can change the status to waitlisted, admitted, toured, interested. Once they're enrolled, you can import them and they'll be an active family. So this leads insights is a really good tool because you can track all the communication you've had with potential leads who have visited and toured. You can see, any delivered emails if they've opened it, if the email got lost, any texts that you have sent back and forth from the families. And then being able to follow insights so you can kind of track last 30 days of how many people toured, how many people are interested, really give you kind of an inside look of future enrollment and waitlisting. So another good feature there.
Very cool. All right. We have another question about curriculum.
Okay.
Can we add our own items to the curriculum? Could we input, say, a Bible story, chapel, and such on the lesson plans?
Absolutely. Yeah, and you can create lessons from here or the mobile app. So we can go to our all lessons plan, create a lesson here, give it a title. So as you said, Bible study, right? You can come in here, put Bible study, maybe put the verse that you're studying, the different category that it may be in, whether it's circle songs or interactive reading. I'm not sure what this one would fall under, but we'll just say that. Give the full description of what that lesson entails, right? And potentially the verse or the chapter you're reading, the desired outcome, what potentially what you're looking to get out of this reading. Add different milestones that you're touching on. So, for example, these milestones are the ones that I pointed out that you can edit and customize to fit your learning initiative. But for each of these, you can come and attach a lesson plan to different milestones, so that way you know that they're hitting the right, the right fields for that lesson plan. Add labels for age groups on here as well, if you wanted to. Select the room they're in, the lesson duration. You can check the box if you want to include it in the daily activity summary. So when a child is signed out, they're going to get a summary email to the parent of all the activities they've had that day, their sign in and sign out times, and then also that day's lesson plan. So you can check if you want to include that or not. Once again, you can attach URLs. So if you're potentially watching a documentary, you can add a YouTube link or a website link, of what you're studying that day, and add any attachments. So any preset lesson plans you have, a copy of the verse you're reading for, in this case, you can attach those files and save that, and save it as a template. And then when you go and add that to the day, you can come in here, add a lesson, and then search that lesson. So if you wanted to search, I didn't save the lesson, but I could search Bible, pull up that Bible study lesson I created. So you have multiple options to create your own ones. And you can also edit any of these ones that are preset if you did decide to go with Learning Beyond Paper as well.
Excellent. All right, it looks like we got everybody's questions answered. So I think we can go to our final slide. If you do have more questions, we're always happy to do a demo with you, so you can have that one-on-one to ask the questions that are super specific to your center. Anything you have, we're happy to help. Scan the QR code, or you can go to the link on the page to fill out a short form. And remember, you are going to get a recording of the webinar too. So don't worry if you missed anything. It's going to be there for you to look at when you are ready. So thanks again to everybody who came. Thank you to Elliott for all that great information. And we hope you have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Leah. Appreciate it.
Bye.